My name is Ashutosh, and in Drigdrishya Viveka, it says that the ahankara is naturally related to the Chidabhasa, and the ahankara has no relationship to the Sakshi.
Yes.
So does that imply that the Chidabhasa has a natural relationship to the Sakshi as well? And if so, is the sentience that we experience right now also an object to the Sakshi?
Answer is yes to all three questions. But for the benefit of everybody who's listening, it's another one of those difficult and subtle questions which shows somebody who has studied Drigdrishya Viveka. You have studied Drigdrishya Viveka, right? So in that, there comes a section, a few verses, which try to pinpoint. Keep in mind the Sankhyan model. You are consciousness and the rest of it is matter, including body and mind. So where does this consciousness come in contact, so to say? This whole question in philosophy of a dualism, always the problem will be there. Like mind-body dualism, how do they interact? Similarly, if you're not talking about mind-body dualism, but you're talking about consciousness-matter dualism, where do they interact? What is the relationship? Precisely. So the model there is, you are pure consciousness. It's called the witness consciousness or the seer or the drik. And then there is the body and the mind. And in the mind, consciousness is reflected. Reflection model is used there. Just like sun is reflected in a pot of water. The pot being the body and the water being the mind. But there's a sun which is reflected in the water. You'll find a tiny sun sparkling in the water, in the pot. And it does some of the functions of the real sun. It sparkles and it illumines also. Similarly, you are limitless consciousness, but you don't know that. All you are aware of is the body and the mind, and also finally, you are aware of awareness. Because right now we are all aware. So is that pure consciousness? Yes and no. It's like the little sun reflected in the water. It's like the face reflected in the mirror. That reflected face in the mirror is like reflected consciousness. And that's what powers our day-to-day, perceptions, our first-person experiences, all our experiences of life are because of this reflected consciousness. As long as the mirror is there, there will be a reflected face. When the mirror is removed or turned around, there will not be any reflection. Similarly, as long as the mind is functioning, there is a reflection. When the mind falls asleep, for example, in deep sleep, no reflection, so you don't feel any kind of experience as such. It's like a blankness. Now, what is done in Drigdrishya Viveka is, in the mind, just take one function of the mind, which is ego, I, the sense of I. It's a function, it's a thought, it's a function of the mind. You can just locate it right now. I feel, yes, I am. This I is this ego, and consciousness is reflected in it as a reflected consciousness, because their consciousness is reflected in the mind, so consciousness is reflected in the ego. And if you attend to the ego right now, the sense of I, it's not only I, it's a luminous I, it's an aware I. I not only am, but I'm aware, I'm shining. Just look at it and you'll feel that, yes, it's awareness plus I sense, the ego. Just like the reflection of the face in the mirror is mirror plus reflection. Now the question is asked, what is the connection of this ego, Chidabhasa actually? What's the connection of this Chidabhasa, the reflected consciousness, to the ego, to the body, and to you, the real consciousness? Three questions. This reflected consciousness, what is its relationship with the ego, with the body, and with the real consciousness? The answer is given that this reflected consciousness will continue with the body as long as the body is alive. The moment the body dies, and then this reflected consciousness will be again manifest in a new body, like it will be born as a new baby, and there will be no connection with the dead body anymore. It will not continue there anymore. So as long as the body is alive, the reflected consciousness will function in that body. If the body dies, no longer. What is the connection with the ego? Consciousness and ego, reflected consciousness and ego. The answer is that As long as the ego is functioning, there will be a reflected consciousness in it. Sahajam, it says natural. Think about a reflected face and mirror. Whenever you show the mirror, there will be a reflected face. Right? And when you take away the mirror, no reflected face. So the reflection and mirror are naturally related. You can't stop it. The real point is this, the third question. What is the connection between the reflected consciousness and the real consciousness, you? What is the connection? It's just like the connection between reflected face and real face. What is the connection between reflected face and real face? No connection. You pass your hand between the mirror and your face. There's the mirror with a reflected face. And here is your real face. Pass a hand in between. Any connection? Nothing. Your real face has nothing to do with the mirror or the reflected face. However, the reflected face entirely depends upon your real face. And of course the mirror. So it's a peculiar product of your real face and the mirror. The real face does not depend upon the mirror, does not depend upon the reflection. If the mirror is taken away, your face is exactly as it was. If the mirror is brought back, your face is exactly as it was. You go to a barber shop with 100 different mirrors and 1,000 reflections, your real face is exactly as it was. So, the Drigdrishya Viveka says, what is the relationship between Sakshi and Chidabhasa? He says, Ajnana. He says, ignorance only. Karmajam, Sahajam, and then Bhranti-janyam, born of error. The feeling that I am there in the mirror. If anybody feels like that, hey, don't touch the mirror, don't polish it, it hurts. Because you're scrubbing my face. You're not there in the mirror, you're here. Even if I scrub the mirror, nothing will happen to your face. And also, you don't feel that I have to reflect myself in the mirror all the time. Otherwise, I'm gone. But we feel like that. If the mind stops, in deep sleep, we feel I'm gone. So, this is the connection. All right, thank you.